We have a major update on MJF. Also, we're going to be talking about a WWE tag team that's been repackaged. And of course, we got to talk about this rumor / news that WWE is ripping off a indie wrestler's gimmick. Guys, we're talking about it all in today's video. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that bell to get notified. And as always, timestamps in the description down below. The Grizzled Young Vets have been revealed as the dyad in NXT 2.0, and I absolutely love it, which I think a lot of people are going to absolutely hate this. But as much as I love this, I have to sit here and call it out as it is. Now, if you guys didn't watch Pllana Productions' video, I highly recommend it. I'm actually going to throw the link in the description because it seems to me that WWE is secretly reusing history. And whenever they do this, it has become more noticeable, especially as of late. However, the Grizzled Young Vets have basically been repackaged into the dyad, which are Joe Gacy's guys. And honestly, this is like another version of the Judgment Day, another version of the Wyatt family, another version of every other dark faction that's ever existed in pro wrestling. However, there is something about this one that I genuinely like off my first impression. And I think the reason why I actually am interested in this is because of the talent itself. Now, with that being said, I want to be perfectly clear here. We have just seen the reveal. Obviously, storytelling hasn't come into play. We haven't seen much just yet. But Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler are no longer the Grizzled Young Vets. And they made a massive change to their physical look to pull this off. And I think that is what's so impressive about this. I think anytime there is an aggressive change with a wrestler being repackaged, it immediately appears to me as fascinating. Now, of course, because WWE has, they kind of recycle history and gimmicks and stuff like that. They have this history of doing so. It does make me fearful that there's going to be a very low ceiling on this group, especially when you look at the Judgment Day on the main roster and seeing how that's basically fallen apart. Now, obviously, Cody getting hurt, Edge needing to become a babyface, there's a lot of reasons as to why the Judgment Day has kind of fallen out of place. But my point that I'm making is I am intrigued by this, and that is what is most interesting. The fact that there is intrigue. Grizzled Young Vets are no longer just good wrestlers. Now they have a character arc to them, and I look forward to seeing what happens next. Speaking of repackages, you guys know we had been talking about Axiom, aka A-Kid from WWE NXT UK. He came to America. He has now been put in a mask, and people believe that this is a copycat gimmick. So, Razor Wing from the independent scene put out this tweet. Mom, can we get some Razor Wing? We have Razor Wing at home. And this is Razor Wing on the independent scene. This right here is Axiom in WWE. Now, obviously, there are some striking similarities, but there are some differences. So keep that in mind when you are looking at this. I think this is pure coincidental. Truth be told, I really do. I think because of the color scheme, I think a lot of people are going to look at this as similarities. But to be honest with you, I'll let you guys make up your own mind when it comes to that. I personally think Axiom is a great character. I really love how WWE did his entrance. They kind of gave him some like motion blur. It was kind of cool. I like when WWE tries something different. The cool thing is A-Kid is actually really good in the ring, and I feel like he is going to get over. He had a great match with Dante Chen. It was a great showcase, and I think WWE needs more masked wrestlers. I think they are lacking in that department, and this is a great way to introduce it to the crowd. You're doing it in NXT. Give it some trial and error, see what works and see what doesn't work. And then from there, I think if you're WWE, most importantly, you can alter some things as time goes on. As far as this being a copycat, though, I genuinely don't think this is a copycat. I know a lot of people are looking at these images and they think it is, but again, it's just going to be coming down to one thing. I think the color scheme is the same. Otherwise, for the most part, there's really not too much to me that, you know what I'm saying. My point is, I like the fact that WWE has gone this route. Axiom and Razor Wing, to me, are two separate characters. People will run with whatever they want to, but I'm excited to see what they do with him, and I hope they continue to build upon this, build some momentum, and, hey, give him a chance. Give him a chance. Let's see what they can do. Again, Grizzled Young Vets, A-Kid, they really didn't have too much character arc to them before. Now they have something about them, and I think that's what makes it awesome. So let me know what you guys think. And for our final story of today's video, guys, we are talking about MJF. I really wanted to talk about this because, truth be told, when it comes to MJF, it has been very, very quiet, and it has been very difficult to find answers when it comes to MJF because MJF is not out here doing interviews and not talking to people and all of this other stuff. Now, of course, there's been a lot of talk about MJF as of late because AEW has already put themselves in a shitty situation with so many wrestlers being injured, and they don't really have that many top guys on TV, which, truth be told, I feel like if AEW actually had MJF on TV right now, it would probably be very helpful to their product. Now, with that being said, Brian Pillman Jr. just said in an interview with Count It Out with Mike and Tyler podcast, he was talking about his relationship with MJF, and he says, "We used to be a lot closer. You try to prioritize work when you're at work, and it's a lot less about being buddy-buddy. I think Max is a good kid, but at the end of the day, we all want more. The grass is always greener on the other side, but you know he's a smart kid, and he'll land on his feet." And this honestly really, really makes me more confused, more than ever when it comes to the future and career of MJF. I think a lot of people think that AEW is holding out on having MJF on TV because they're trying to sell it as a work. A lot of people at this point believe it is a work, but why would AEW continue to no-sell it? And that's the real big question mark here because talent have come out and done interviews about MJF, and I just can't imagine a whole bunch of wrestlers are also in on the work, which makes this so intriguing because, truth be told, AEW's product, in my opinion, is suffering without MJF. And I feel like that is evident in the numbers and social media and the engagement and ratings, whatever it is, everything that you can calculate about AEW. Yes, they're doing phenomenal on Wednesday nights, and yes, they are doing incredibly good on the charts. They're number one 4 weeks in a row. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think in terms of personal interest and based on the people that I'm talking to these days, a lot of people don't really know what that next big storyline is for AEW right now, and that is because so much talent is off of TV. Yes, Wardlow won the belt. Yes, Swerve and Our Glory won the belt, and they're putting on great matches, and they're putting on some good stuff, but there's not that one major storyline that is taking place in AEW, and I think if AEW actually had MJF on TV while Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and everybody else, was doing other stuff, I think that would open the doors for a major storyline. So whatever it is that Tony Khan and AEW are doing here, I think it just makes it much more confusing. And truth be told, I think they're losing momentum on the storyline, but we'll see how it plays out. It's a very big risk, but also could be a very big reward. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.